do have the first question here. This is from Comfy Manalo of the Daily Tribune. Sir Comfy, he's right over there. Okay.
Sabi ng kapatid ko, di mo daw kailangan ng license para mag-drive ng electric scooter.
Hi, good morning. I'm Coffee Magala from the Daily Tribune. This is the first venture of Globe into sustainable climate technology. So, question is, what are the features or unique features of Gogoro that that brought about this partnership? And can you give us more details about this partnership? Does it involve distribution of Gogoro or the infrastructure for battery swap or connectivity of smart technology? And for Mr. Ernest, who specific question for you. What is the advantage of telco that why Globe went into EVs? Thank you.
Well, thanks for the question. The two basic things for me, no, that made Gogoro attractive in the Philippines, of course, number one is battery swapping. We all know that a lot of our riders in the Philippines, customers for two-wheelers, do not own their own homes. So how do you plug in your vehicle? How do you plug in your vehicle when you go into a fast food joint or go shopping and so on and so forth? When today we can't even plug in some of our phones or laptops, they stop us from doing it, right? So, the most convenient way of doing it is using the swapping system. Because you can always get a fresh battery when you encounter a swapping station, like we've seen this happen in Taiwan many times. And second is the smartness of the system. The system just basically relates to how Globe does business, digital. Right? We can monitor a lot of the things going on with the bike through the battery, or even if we decide to put the bike online, which is possible as well. It is a very intelligent system. And once you have data about the riding habits of the consumer or the rider itself, there's many more things we can do with it. Just like we've done in GCash, where we use the data to power our lending business, which is now growing and becoming very successful. In the telco, we power the usage data as well to enable our marketing to be able to target the customers much better. So data is another one, being the smartness of the devices as well as the charging stations. So why does Globe have the unfair advantage? Globe is would say, master at changing people's habits. We brought people the smartphone into this country back in 2010, 2012. Back then people said, I don't need a smartphone. My call and SMS phone really works well. But today, no one can live without their smartphone. Right? We brought streaming video into this country. Single-handedly eliminating video piracy in the country. And then followed that through with eliminating music piracy through Spotify. Right? Netflix and Spotify were our launch partners for those two. So we've been changing the habits. The product that somebody told me, or many people told me they don't need, today has 80 million accounts, GCash. Right? When I was evangelizing GCash in its early day, people said, I don't need that. I have a credit card and I have cash. Today, people tell me, how could I have lived without GCash all these years? And how will I live without it if it goes down? So here we are again, right? Bringing another innovation to the public. Something today that they do not think they need yet. Yeah? Because they haven't experienced it yet. But one of the things that I like about this product, when I first saw it in 2015, because I'm not really an avid two-wheeler rider. I'm more into the four-wheel type of vehicles. But it was something I wanted to buy when I saw it. I didn't even need it, but to me, if it's that compelling, it must be good. All right, and so, with all the patience and everything in the world between Horace and myself, it's been an 8-year journey, 7.5 to be exact, getting here, but I'm just so glad we are here today. Right? So that's really all my answer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest. Cool. And thank you also, Pompey, from the Daily Tribune. We also do have another question from April Salazar of Manila Bulletin.
Hi, good morning. I'm April Salazar of Manila Bulletin. My question is for Mr. Horace. What factors influence Gogoro's decision to enter the Philippine market, and What was the reason for partnering with the Ayala Corporation and Globe for this endeavor?
Great. Thank you for the question. There are couple fundamental reasons why we picked Philippines as our pilot market in the Southeast Asia area. The first one has to do with just, when I met Ernest, we fell in love because of the hairstyle, but also on top of that, he told me that the Filipino today commute almost 2 hours to and from work using public transportation because there's nothing better. Filipinos would actually get off work really late because they don't want to be stuck in traffic. And that the two-wheel solution has not been yet adopted. A lot of people say, when there's nobody wearing shoes in that country, in Africa, why go sell shoes in Africa? It's because I believe Globe can fundamentally influence and improve the lives of the Filipino using the infrastructure and the ecosystem that Globe has. That leads me to the second question, which is there's nobody around the world that I've seen execute to digitizing cities and for citizens better than Ernest and his team have done. I believe together we can form a great partnership to greatly influence and improve upon what the situation today with the commute, with the pollution, with the traffic congestion, and just the overall uneasiness of getting to one place to another. So I think it's really a condition of, the fact that the Filipino doesn't have a solution today, and that we have a great partner working together to actually execute this. But last but not least, I really see Filipino government really taking a kind of more proactive initiative to electrify. Just yesterday we were catching up over dinner, that I was really happy to learn that in four-wheel parking, 5% is mandated that 5% of all parking location has to have a charge pole by a certain time. This is a great momentum in which we see people going electrifying. And yes, four-wheel for some, but two-wheel can be for the masses. And so we are really excited to be here to help and work together with Globe to really realize a vision that perhaps has not been realized in the Philippines before.
Thank you, Horace. And thank you, April. Now we also have a question from Jopel Helenio. Yeah, go ahead, Jopel.
Yes, of DWIZ. Good morning, sirs, and congratulations for this very wonderful and very successful launching of Gogoro Smart Scooters. And for Sir Vince Yamat, in your pilot for Globe employees, is there going to subsidies for those who opt to get the Gogoro Smart Scooters?
So the good news is it's going to be free for the Globe employee testers. So 70, okay, raise your hand. So there will be 70 employees, volunteer employees, who will be able to test Gogoro for 2 months. For 2 months. So starting May, we're going to launch that program. Now, the objective really of a pilot test is for us to learn. And that's how we operate in Globe. We don't just launch a product and it's commercial. We always pilot and validate. Through this validation, we'll be able to learn a lot about the behavior and the experience of our employees and future customers. In fact, some of our employees started asking us, when is Gogoro going to be available, right, even for purchase? So we're excited for this pilot test.
Thank you, Vince. So 70 very lucky employees. Okay, another question from Cedric Francisco, right over here.
Hello, from Motoring Today. I'll just ask Sir Bernie, when will the Gogoro bikes be available to the public?
We're eagerly anticipating making it available to the public. So immediately after the pilot for the Globe employees and its ecosystem, we will go commercial within the fourth quarter of this year. Fundamental to that is making sure that we will be able to support all of our customers when we start commercial operations. We will make sure that we have deployed a good number, sufficient enough of tow stations so that our customers could go in very secure areas that are accessible to them 24 by 7, and it's within the normal daily routine of people so that you don't need to go out of the way just to find out where to stop your batteries. So fourth quarter, here we come.
Fourth quarter. Exciting. Now we do have one from Sherry Lianino. Sherry. Hi, Miss Sherry. Let's just wait for the microphone to get to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So thank you again to Globe for having SMNI here. I'm Sherry po from SMNI. So my question po is for Sir Horace. What is the edge of Gogoro smart scooters over other e-bikes in the market? Thank you.
Great. So, there's a lot of advantages of going electric. But as Ernest just said, most of the Filipinos that actually would consider using a two-wheeler don't really own their home. And when it comes to the safety or the convenience of refueling, having a battery swapping system to support going electric while the electric vehicle also have additional features such as digital security or digital safety enable us to take leaps and bounds to offer better user experience, better safety, better security than any ICE vehicle can have. A lot of the customers today won't consider ICE vehicle because one is very polluting, number two is very hot, number three is very noisy, and it's just overall not a great user experience. So for us, we really focus on the great user experience of owning such a two-wheeler. And hopefully, we can actually deliver that user experience and make a real big impact in everyday Filipinos' lives.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sherry, and thank you, Horace. Okay, we're down to our last question. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Princess Jordan from IBC News. Since the Gogoro are now here in the Philippines and we are now going to do the pilot testing, how much these Gogoro e-vehicles cost?
It's great. So the Gogoro e-vehicle, and I'll answer that with Bernie together. Of course, with the current great electric policy of importing batteries and stations, that it is actually duty-free to electrify the Philippines. We're working together on the two-wheeler to bring the two-wheeler into this market in a wide portfolio of ranges of price. So of course, if you want more performance, you're going to have to pay more. If you want less performance and easier, more lightweight vehicle, you can pay less. So we have a price range to satisfy, I believe, all Filipinos. And so it's not a single vehicle that we're talking about, there's a portfolio vehicle that we're talking about. Similar to a feature phone or a smartphone, you'll have different size of storage, speed, screen size, same thing. Say a variety so that our consumers can choose the one that's best for them.
So can you give us numbers or how much will this further cost? So we just have an idea, sir.
I think it's going to be amazingly affordable. How about that?
Okay, thank you so much. That would be great for all the Filipinos. Thank you.
Okay, surprise, right? Okay, we do have last two questions. I believe this is from somebody from Lifestyle Journal. Oh, right, over there.
Hi, good morning. This is James Umano from Tech and Lifestyle Journal. I have two questions. Number one, can you tell us more about the carbon emission and how friendly Gogoro is to the environment? And number two, can you tell us something about the cost efficiency or the energy efficiency of this electric scooter?
Great. I'll take the emission side, and then I think the cost will also give a rough, direction. In Taiwan, for example, we have actually two different energy sources. We have the traditional coal and fossil fuel generated energy, which is about 70%, 80% of what Taiwan energy is today. And then we have the more sustainable generation of energy. But even if you count with that much coal and fossil and natural gas generating energy, there is of course transmission loss and other that goes all the way to the station. Our vehicles still emit a little bit, of CO2. If you compare to where we are today, we're about 5% of what an ICE vehicle would do. So we save 95% of the CO2 from emitting into the air. But of course, we strive our best to take advantage of sustainable energy as much as we can. So today in Taiwan, we have, for example, several stations that is supplemented with solar power. We have also a retail store along with several stations at the retail store that is 100% subscribed to sustainable energy. Now, of course, with Ayala's investment into solar energy and sustainable energy being the largest in the region, we look forward to the day that we can actually raise our hand and Ernest and I can stand up and say, that station is using nothing but sustainable energy. That would be the ultimate goal. Now, when it comes to the ownership of swapping, Taiwan gas price, on average, even with the big saturation and success rate in Taiwan, the gas price in Taiwan, on average per liter, is about 85 cents to 90 cents US dollar per liter. In the Philippines, it's $1.30 or so, $1.35 per liter. So we believe we can make a great contribution to actually not only providing a better solution, but overall a more affordable, a solution that actually makes sense, including not only the refueling, but also the ease of the time you save, as well as the fact that it doesn't require much maintenance because it's an electric vehicle. All of that adds up to be a great user experience. That's the direction we're all working toward.
Thank you, Horace. I did see a gentleman raising his hand right there. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, thank you. Miguel here from Tech in Asia. First and foremost, I think the vision is very exciting, so thank you so much for communicating that so well today. I think my main question really is, and it's a general one, anyone can take it. You talked a lot about shifting behaviors and habits, which I think is an important part of this journey. And just wanted to ask if you can share a bit of insight or hypotheses rather as to maybe the differences between the behaviors in the Philippine market versus the Taiwan market, for example. Maybe a hypothesis that you're bringing into the pilot at this point.
Yeah, I can take a first crack. Yeah, how about that? I think on the overall the usage behavior in Taiwan, for 22 million in population, there's 14 million vehicles on the road that are two-wheelers. If you take out the old people and take out the young people, everybody has a two-wheeler. And that's a market that has its challenges when it comes to conversion. It's a conversion market. Whereas if you look at the Philippines, has 11 million vehicles that are on the road added over the last 10 years or so, for a population of slightly over 100 million people. So 1/10 penetration. So I see it as a frontier market. A market that if we can actually do a great job, like I said, every vehicle that's placed on the road, to me, is a 10 years worth of pollution. And vehicle pollution only gets worse. It doesn't get better. The performance of the vehicle doesn't get better. The cleanliness of the vehicle doesn't get better. Because it's just, the tolerance and the gap in the valves, everything adds up, and then, basically it emits more emission. With the Gogoro vehicle, it's different. The first battery that we actually shipped, when Ernest first visited me, each battery was about 1 kilowatt hour. Through several generation of upgrade, our vehicle today can enjoy the new battery that is 1.7 kilowatt hour. A great 70% improvement. But the person never had to actually change their vehicle. The vehicle just got upgraded. Same with other features, such as the rain mode that I talked about. Every vehicle, since the very first vehicle that was sold, all got upgraded in safety feature along the way. So the person that actually bought the vehicle in 2015 continued to enjoy performance and also feature upgrade that actually enabled them to say, this is a smart vehicle. And that's why we call it a smart vehicle, because it gets smarter along the way. So when we first shipped the first vehicle, it did not have security unlock that's tied to your phone or your watch. It did not have, ring mode. It did not have traction control and other features. Today, the vehicle, some of our customers choose and upgrade the vehicle and they get better and better. And so we believe that we can actually bring that type of experience to the Philippines. It's really a market that you have to make it, and with a great partnership with Globe and with Ayala, we believe we can actually make this market. And we can stop these install of ICE vehicle from continuing to pollute the country.
I just want to add, I mean, the key to shifting a habit will be user experience, right? It has to be a better user experience that we have today, right? When we brought the smartphone, it brought about so much to the Filipino life than your previous, basic phone or feature phone, right? You had access to the world through the internet, you had your entertainment, and today you even have your wallet on your phone. When we brought GCash to market, it was all about, again, improving on the experience with cash and credit card, right? You could apply instantly, you could pay anyone instantly. When you lost your phone, you didn't lose your money. Security. And today, even that is continuing to be enhanced. You can borrow money. You can invest in stocks. You can invest in crypto or buy NFTs. You can buy insurance and many, many more through our G-Life platform. When we introduced Consulta MD, it was again improving the insurance, or the customer experience. You don't have to wait in the doctor's office. Most of the time, you don't have to wait for an appointment. And you can get instant medical care no matter where you are in the Philippines. Same with the Gogoro. Think about the consumer experience that you had when the pandemic came about and there was no pollution in the air. That's the promise and the vision. And we speak a lot about air pollution. We don't speak about noise pollution. The noise on those motorcycles today, a 90cc bike, they put the open muffler. What happens to your lifestyle at home? Your experience at home? It's noise, right? I live by JP Rizal. It's very noisy street because of all the jeepneys and the noisy tricycles that glide around. Right? So it's all about that. So we're going to create this wonderful user experience from acquiring the bike to charging, payments, because Globe has a lot of that ecosystem pre-built. And that, I think, will be the overriding factor and why you would want to switch to this type of vehicle in the future.
Can I add?
Go ahead, Sir Bernie.
So it's new, it's pretty new. EVs for two wheels. And we're not going into it blindly. There's the reason why we're going into a pilot before we actually get into commercial operations to basically understand a lot better what is the customer behavior and what is that experience we need to put together to make sure it's outstanding. So there'll be a lot of efforts just on the education part. Selling it is not our first and foremost intention from the get-go. It's getting people to understand why EV versus the internal combustion engine vehicles. And when you say EV, people generally equate EVs to plug-ins. So why battery swap versus plug-ins? And I think we have all of the assets and the rationale to make sure that the experience is exactly differentiated versus the other types of EVs, and most especially the internal combustion engine vehicles.
Thank you, Bernie. And thank you as well. We do have room for one last question.
Hi, good morning. I'm Eli from eLifestyle Manila. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you on the launch. It's another first from Ayala, Globe, 917, Gogoro. My question is, since you already have a products forecast for Q4, would you be able to have a pre-order for this one? How many units? And we have a banking facility already.
When we start, just before we start the actual commercial operations. Yep, we do pre-orders. Similar to what we do with the smartphones, with the launch of the smartphones that we've done, we do pre-orders. And we will do the same when we do.
Sir, how many stock units will you?
I think he's very interested in signing up already.
Sign up so we can bring all of the scooters that we need to serve that particular demand.
Lastly, to cut the ride-and-side for EV, how many charging swapping stations will you be launching at Q4 for probably NCR area.
Our first, the first stations that we have initially covers the immediate central business districts. That's about 7. We will expand to cover the entire of Metro Manila in numbers that are sufficient to serve all of the customers that we will acquire by the end of the year.
Sir, last, will there be colors like Vespa?
Definitely. Enjoy the colors.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you can sign up, right? Just kidding. But we do appreciate the enthusiasm of our friends from the media, but that's all the time we have for questions right now. But we want to, of course, thank our leaders. Let's give them a round of applause.